The China Coast Guard told the Philippine resupply contingent that it will only allow one ship to reach the grounded BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal. According to Armed Forces of the Philippines Western Command Chief Vice Admiral Alberto Carlos, the exchange happened when the resupply vessel Unaizame 4 was deployed for the first time on Tuesday, March 5, to test if it could come close to the BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal. Carlos says the Philippine Navy did not acknowledge the China Coast Guard's radio challenges to Unaizame 4 as they proceeded with their resupply mission. According to Carlos, the response of Unaizame 4 is the standard radio reply, stating that they are conducting a legitimate mission inside the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. During the mission, the China Coast Guard fired water cannons at the Unaizame 4, injuring at least 4 Navy personnel and causing minor damage to the vessel. Carlos said the Unaizame 4 will be used again for the next mission to Ayungin Shoal, where military troops have been stationed since 1999. Beijing's latest action is based on its belief that it owns almost the entire South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea, even if such a claim has been effectively invalidated by a July 2016 International Tribunal ruling. In the midst of heightened territorial tensions in the West Philippine Sea, the Philippines is eyeing to expand defense agreements with Germany during President Bongbong Marcos's visit there. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs Office of European Affairs Assistant Secretary Maria Elena Algabre, the Philippines and Germany already have an existing defense agreement. But she says this was signed all the way back in 1974 and focuses on the training of armed forces. Algabre says Marcos's upcoming visits to Germany and the Czech Republic from March 11 to 15 can be attributed to the countries being like-minded with the Philippines. According to the DFA official, the West Philippine Sea will be tackled during Marcos's meeting with the country's top officials.
We share values for democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, including in the promotion of an open, inclusive, international rules-based order. The president will have an exchange on how both could work together in maintaining an international rules-based order.
Tensions in the West Philippine Sea have worsened during the term of Marcos as China continuously encroaches on Philippine territory. The president has said the Philippines would push back if its sovereignty is questioned. Meanwhile, Algabre says a commercial agreement with Germany will be signed to facilitate maritime trade.
In Germany, in terms of the government-to-government agreements, there will be a joint declaration of intent on strengthening cooperation in maritime sector, which will be signed by both countries' transportation agencies. This JDI seeks to facilitate maritime trade and mobility of Philippine and German-owned commercial vessels.
During his stay in the European countries, Marcos will meet with government and business leaders. He is also set to meet with the Filipino community. President Bongbong Marcos's foreign trips are not a waste of government funds, according to the Department of Foreign Affairs Office of European Affairs Assistant Secretary Maria Elena Algabre. Marcos is bound for Germany and the Czech Republic from March 11 to 15 for an official visit, just fresh from his back-to-back trip to Australia during the first week of March.
These trips are all in support of the president's development agenda for the well-being and well-being of our country and the progress of the Filipinos. And for Germany and the Czech Republic, the visit will focus, as we have said earlier, in strengthening partnership with like-minded countries in Europe, especially the promotion of a rules-based international order.
Including Australia, Marcos has been to 3 countries so far in 2024. In January, he went to Brunei for the royal wedding of Prince Abdul Mateen. During the same month, he went to Vietnam for a state visit. The Philippine Coast Guard says no Chinese ships were monitored in the Philippine Rise as of Friday, March 8. PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armand Balilos says the patrol operations in the Philippine Rise are still ongoing, but reports no sighting of Chinese vessels in the area. On Monday, March 4, PCG deployed one of its biggest vessels, the BRP Gabriela Silang, to the Philippine Rise for a 2-week mission. The 84-meter vessel was deployed in the area following the reported presence of 2 Chinese research vessels there. But Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore Roy Vincent Trinidad, said that the 2 Chinese research ships were already out of the country's exclusive economic zone since Sunday, March 3. The Philippine Coast Guard says it is ready to escort the planned second civilian convoy in Scarborough Shoal. PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armand Balilos says they will do whatever is necessary to ensure the safety of those joining the civilian caravan. However, Balilos says the organizers have yet to reach out to the PCG. The Aide coalition earlier said it is planning to conduct another caravan for fishermen and military personnel in the sandbank in April. Aide coalition lead convener Rafaela David said that they want to highlight the issues of fisherfolk in the area. During the first ever Christmas mission of Aide last year, one of the resupply boats managed to get past Chinese vessels and reach Lawak Island, bringing gifts to civilians and non-military personnel. However, this feat was not without challenges as a China Coast Guard vessel followed the caravan's mothership, TS Capitan Felix Oca, prompting its captain to return to a port in El Nido, Palawan. The mothership was also carrying civilians and media personnel. Contrary to earlier projections of a decline, consumers will have to pay more for their electricity bills in March as power distributor Meralco announces an increase in its rate for the month. Power rates in March will increase by more than 2 centavos per kilowatt hour. This brings the overall rate for a typical household to 11 pesos and 93 centavos per kilowatt hour for March, higher than February's rate of 11 pesos and 91 centavos per kilowatt hour. For residential customers consuming 200 kilowatt hours, the adjustment is equivalent to an increase of less than 5 pesos in their total electricity bills. According to Meralco, the slight rate hike is due to an increase in transmission charges, which offset the decline in generation charge.